Okay, so let's start right in. We'll start with commission here. Commission is anytime you're making a percentage of your sale. So in fact, let's write that down. So definition of the commission. The definition of commission, it is a certain, you're making a certain, you're getting paid per percentage of sale. That's probably the best way I can frame it, right? You're getting paid per percentage of sale. So the big one about commission is like, I think one of the most common ones that around here would be like a car sales. That is probably what most people think of. There's certain businesses you get commission, believe it or not, in this area that most people wouldn't even think about, especially what I'm about to show you. There's a place in Des Moines called Homemakers. It's basically, think of it like a furniture store, but all the employees only make commission. You don't get paid per hour. You could be there for 20 hours that day, and you make whatever sales you get a certain percent of the sales you make. So there's a little bit of leeway on that. The reason why this is important to know is if the person you're working with is based on commission, then everything is negotiable. Negotiable, I spelled it wrong. Jeez, spelled it way wrong. Alright, it's negotiable. Okay, what I mean by that, if you're in car sales, there's a percent that they're going to get on the top of that car. You can work that number until they're comfortable. There's a certain number they want to sell that car at. They either bought it for a certain price, or they have certain money invested in the car if they had to upgrade or fix something. So the idea is that everything is negotiable if it's based on commission. Certain businesses, car sales, Homemakers in Des Moines, so there's certain furniture stores. So homemakers or furniture in general. Any type of equipment that you're going to purchase. Any type of equipment. It doesn't have to be a car, it could be equipment, trailers, trucks, that type of thing. And the big thing is farm equipment. So farm, that's a part of equipment, but farming tools. You're going to be able to negotiate on that. The other thing that always catches people off guard, appliance stores. So appliance stores, like, I guess really the only one in this area would be like Best Buy. You could buy TVs and appliances in there, like washers and dryers. TVs, washers and dryers, refrigerators in Best Buy are negotiable. The price isn't final. People don't even know that. Like if there's a $3,500 TV, they might sell it to you for $2,800. You just have to tell them that you're not going to pay $35. What will they do? I know a lot of the time they're like, well, did you find that price online? No, that's what I'm willing to pay you for. Will you take it? And then they'll go talk to their manager. Like a lot of people don't know that you can haggle prices in Best Buy for those appliances, which is really weird because the TV is based on commission. So. The other things that you can that are not negotiable, that you can't haggle the price on, but it's the sales based on commission is cell phone departments. That's why when you walk into like a Verizon or US Cell or Best Buy, you get to that little like kiosk where all the cell phones are. Those employees are based on commission. Same at Target. Target has the same person that cell phone department. The price is not negotiable, but the person that's selling you the phone is getting a certain percent. That's why they always throw out the same phone. Like, hey, you should look at the Samsung Galaxy phone first. The reason why is that's probably the biggest commission sale that they'll get. To give you an idea, I had somebody that worked at Best Buy when I was in school. I think they get like, per cell phone, they get 25 bucks in their pocket that day per cell phone that they sell. But if they sell the one that's the deal of the day for Best Buy, so it's like usually it's like a Motorola Droid or a Galaxy Samsung Galaxy phone, they get like $100 in their pocket per cell phone that you sell. So yeah, they're gonna push those phones. Like, hey, why would you want an iPhone? Then they'll start trash talking iPhones because they know they're gonna get $100 in their pocket. They can sell that phone to you. So it's one of those things, like it's a sales tactic. You gotta realize when they're on commission, there's a tactic there that they're gonna take. I think one of the shadiest businesses I've ever been at, and I'm not trying to throw them under the bus, there's a car sales place in Mason, I'm not even gonna say the name of them. They won't tell you the price of the vehicle. They will not tell you the price of the vehicle. They'll ask you questions and they will refuse to give you the price of the vehicle until they find out how much you make. Because then they're gonna rate the car based on what you make. The car, they might have bought the car for 10 grand, but when they find out you're making 30, 40 grand, that car is now 25 grand to them, and that's what they're gonna sell it to. It's a shady practice. Don't tell them what you make. It's not their job. If they wanna know what you make, that'll come through when you try to take the loan out for the car. Because the loan will be either approved or disapproved. They don't need to know what you make per year. What they need to know is what you want to pay for that car. So they need to know that number. Okay? So that's why you need to do research. Don't go in and go, oh, this car is pretty, this is the one I want. You need to go online because that car might be 10 grand cheaper because they're trying to jib you out of it. Especially when you walked in. It depends on who walks in and tries to buy that car. That car's price will fluctuate instantly. Depending on if it's a female walking in, if it's a male, if it's a young kid or old adult. It depends on who's on the lot and what kind of car you're driving onto the lot as well. That price will fluctuate.
How can they get away with that?
Because it's their business. They don't have to sell to you. So they can negotiate whatever price they want. It's shady. Don't get me wrong, that's super shady. Yeah, you need to be really aware of that. That's why, and I hate saying this, but one of the things you need to think about when you're going to go negotiate or go buy a car, you need to take an adult with you if you're going in by yourself, and it preferably needs to be a male. And I hate saying that, but the reason why is because they're going to get the best deal because they know the salesman can't push them around. And it depends on the car you drive in, because if you're driving an Escalade on the lot, they know you have money. So you need to take a car that's within budget, that's within the range of the price you want to pay. I know that's silly. It's silly. It's all these little things you got to think about. The way you dress. You're walking in with a suit, you're going to be charged more. Just telling you. So, all right. Now, always remember, when you're in a commission type of sale, everything's negotiable, especially on certain businesses here. And also, you don't have to buy it. Don't force them. They'll try to change the price in the middle of the sale. I've seen it. It's happened to my wife. She was trying to sign off on a car she wanted to buy. They had almost all the paperwork except for the last 2-3 signatures, and the salesman goes, oh my gosh, we didn't add the taxes back into that car. Too bad, so sad. We already signed the paperwork. And they're like, no, you need to pay the taxes on the car. That's going to add another 3 grand to it. No, it's not. You're going to eat that cost, or we're walking. And they're like, what? I'm not paying you 3 grand because you made a mistake. I'm almost done with this paperwork that just took me 2 hours of my life. That 3 grand is on you, buddy. And if they say no, I walked. And they got pissed. I don't care. That's your fault. I was there for 2 hours. You didn't figure it out 2 hours ago that it was 3 grand off in price? Because it's a tactic. It wasn't 3 grand off. They knew what they could do is that you wanted that car and you were almost done. You were willing to sign an extra 3 grand because you just didn't want to do the paperwork again. Not going to happen. It is a sales tactic. They are trying to rip you off. Be careful on that. And I'm not joking. They can get away with it because they know somebody's going to sign the paperwork. They're going to be like, all right, whatever. I've been here. Just let me sign.
So you didn't buy that car?
No, we walked. They were really pissed. We never went back. They were really mad. We spent 2 hours with the salesman, filling out all this paperwork, getting everything ready. And he's like, oh, we're off by 3 grand on this price because tax. No. I walked and he couldn't believe I did too. Like, we got back in the car that I just sold my car to him, right? Because on the paperwork, like, you're buying my car because it's a trade-in? Nuh-uh. I got my car and I left. Gone. See ya. That's my car still. So he was mad because it's a sales tactic. They are trying to rip you off. You need to be aware of that. You need to be aware of. You need to know instantly what that price is. You need to know what you're going to pay. You need to do the calculations. Now, not all places are shady. But you need to be aware of it, right? All right, commission. Look, now I'm gonna pick the most extreme case. Farm equipment, sorry. Okay, this is gonna be the most extreme case of sales of commission. Now, this is not a regular job. This is jobs you can get over Mason. You can get these at Red Power and Brackey Enterprises because they sell very big equipment. The last I knew, because I had a buddy that worked at Red Power, for the first year that he worked at Red Power, for when he was working there, I don't know if they've changed. Red Power is that really big tractor plant right across from Brackey Enterprises on Highway 18. When you make a sale, you get 30% commission for the first year. Okay, and you're thinking, okay, 30%. I get 30% of the sale on top of the price of what they paid. If you're selling a $500,000 combine, you just made a ton of money. Think about that. Now, that doesn't include if a trade-in comes in. I'm talking like this farmers buy new equipment all the time. I'm saying that if you're gonna buy that $450,000 tractor, because yeah, that's kind of a normal price for those tractors anymore, you're gonna go buy that tractor, you're getting 30% commission on top. So what you do to figure out what your paycheck is gonna be, is you take $450,000 and you take it times 0.3. 0.30, that's 30% right, that's a decimal. And you take it times 450 grand. Did anyone do the calculation yet?
1,350.
Say it again?
135,000.
135,000?
Yeah,
I'm not joking, that's the cash you get in your pocket. That's your money you just walked out with. Okay, that's per sale for the first year. After that, then it goes down to a normal average rate. I think he was making, I think at that point, 10% commission, I think after that. But I'm not joking. He sold a combine, he just made more money than me in 6 years of teaching. In one sale in one afternoon.
Wow.
And farmers will go in and buy equipment at the end of the year to make sure that they maximize their taxes. Because if they can show that they made $0, because they'll put all their money back into their farm equipment, so they'll go and buy equipment at the end of the year, or they'll buy trucks at the beginning of the year to maximize their taxes. It's one of those things like this is a regular deal. Now, what I said earlier, if they make a trade-in, you're going to trade in an old tractor. You have to make the difference in price. That's where you won't make as much money, because obviously not everyone's going to make 130 grand. Everyone will be piling outside the door trying to get a job there. But the idea is that if you traded in a tractor you already own, so you have a $320,000 tractor that you're trading back to Red Power to get the new one, you have to subtract the difference in price. So the difference in price there is 130 grand, right? So 130 grand is what you're going to sell the new tractor at. You still get 30% of the 130 grand you're going to sell, which is still a pretty big chunk of money. It's not, the money we just said, but what's the number?
390,000.
39,000? Is that what you're getting?
No, 39,000. Yeah, sorry. my
Yeah,
bad.
39,000. Okay, good. No, it's good. All right, 39,000. That's still a pretty big paycheck for one sale. 30%, right? That's a normal thing. Now, Brackeys do the same thing. Brackeys have a similar thing because they're trying to compete. How many different tractors and things they can sell? Usually in these places, you have to have some type of business degree, some type of marketing or sales, degree in that. Sometimes you don't. Depends on who you know. So you could actually go work there without having an actual degree from a college, university, and you can make some serious money doing that. But now what happens when you do these sales, usually what happens is if the farmer got a pretty good deal, you're pretty much that salesman for that farmer the rest of your life. So they're pretty much your paycheck for the rest of your life, because they'll keep coming back to you to make deals and to make fixes and do things right. So you're gonna, this 39,000 doesn't seem like a lot, well, maybe it does for a sale, but in the long run, you're gonna make quite a bit of money, because now you gotta take care of that farmer. You're gonna have to make sure that he gets the deals when he comes back in, or she comes back in, so that their stuff is fixed and they're getting taken care of. So you might have to spend some of your money sometimes to make sure that you're making them happy, but you're making some serious money per sale.
I know this may sound a little mean. It's like the person you take care of dies, And then you exclude?
Yeah, you're not getting a paycheck anymore, you're gonna have to go find new sales. You're gonna have to go find a new farmer. So what happens a lot is, in this type of sales specifically, they need to get out there and go to those trading shows and those farm shows and to go out and try to talk to farmers, go to co-ops and stuff and start advertising to them and see if you can actually find farmers that need equipment. So you gotta be a little more aggressive in that, because not everyone's gonna come in and try to buy a tractor. You gotta start making the deals so that they see like, hey, I should go there and start buying a tractor because I'm gonna need one eventually. And maybe you're cutting the deals for them. Because sometimes like, maybe you wanna sell that $450,000 tractor, brand new without a trade. Maybe you can eat away at your profits. Maybe you don't need to get that $135,000 paycheck. Maybe you can take off $100,000 off the tractor. You'll pay it out of your own pocket and take the $35,000 home. That seems like a big steep, but if that gets that farmer into that tractor, you got a $35,000 paycheck in your pocket. The farmer got a tractor $100,000 less than what he should have, and now you have that farmer the rest of your life. And he's gonna always come back to you. So maybe that difference in price, you'll make that up in the next couple of years, because he'll buy 3 or 4 more pieces of equipment if he knows he's getting that type of deal again. So that's how you can make up your profits.
Okay, so I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, so my grandma,
Yes.
like she had the money, like the whole entire money,
Yeah.
but like the person wouldn't let her like buy it with like,
Just cash.
yeah.
Weird. Yeah, it's weird. Usually it depends on the business. I think one of the easiest ways to do it in a situation like that when they won't take cash is to go get a cashier's check from a bank. That's kind of a fail-safe. You go to the bank, deposit to a savings, and then, or checking, I guess, a checking account, and then you use an actual bank
Like they
stub.
like wanted her to pay it by like.
Pay installments. Yeah, because that's how they can make commission. It might be just the business you're in. In that route, she'd be paying a lot more money if she did her payment system, because they're gonna charge interest on it. It might be just the business, you might just have to go somewhere else. It's maybe not the sales tax, maybe they just don't take cash. So it could be a thing where they have to go through their broker. Yeah, to me, that seems more wrong, but yeah. That might be a normal thing. All right, but yeah, this is commission. Now, to get to the point here, tips, a waitress is based on commission. They are. Certain sales, a certain percent of sales, right? You're a $20 meal. You don't have to leave a tip. You don't have to. It's nice if you do because they took care of you. It's better than cooking at home by yourself. Depends on how well they treated you, I guess. But there's a certain percent. You come up with that. I really like those places that they don't force the tip on you. Like if you're in a big party at a bigger place like Des Moines or Minneapolis, the tip might be already added in. Like they just assume you're paying 20% extra, like on that bill. Like they don't even give you the option to choose it. So be careful of that. It's called gratuity. That's what they call it on a note. You should be aware of that. There's I think it was Applebee's in Mason. They used to do that when they first opened. They just automatically had gratuity added in. Well, they had it as a little line below your food, and if you didn't know what the word gratuity meant, you wouldn't even know. You just saw your meal, it said gratuity is $3, and then below that there's a line for a tip, and then your signature. Well, most people did it, they didn't know the word. They put an extra tip again, another 20%, so that person got almost 40% commission. Because it was just something that you got to see that. You got to see, was gratuity already added in? Did they already take the tip? So just be careful of that. My rule of thumb is, this is just mine, it's just a pet peeve of mine. If I'm going to a restaurant, I already committed to the tip. If I'm not going to pay the tip, I'm not going to the restaurant. That's the thing. I know that's a weird mentality, is that you might have that server that's really bad. I understand that. You might have that. But I didn't have to cook. I didn't have to get up and go get something. They served me a drink, they gave me napkins, they gave me whatever I needed. That's usually what I do. I just commit. I know it's going to be 20%. So if I know I'm going in there, it's going to be a $40 bill. I'm going to be paying 20% commission on it. That's just what I do. But that's different. Some people don't. They don't like tips. Like I'm here to buy the food, I'm not here for your service, like, that's a little weird to me. You can eat at home for that. Okay, piecewise work, this is something we're gonna talk about Monday, because I really wanna take more time than what I already had. Piecework is when you get paid per item, we'll talk about that Monday. Hopefully this is a nice little intro today. Okay, the rest of the time is yours. You can work on your assignment, page 10, page 11, that's due Monday. You have about 20 minutes, okay?